Unsicherheiten ist das Thema heute. Es ist, mich verunsichern manchmal komische Dinge. Kennt ihr ja Unsicherheit, weil ihr, wenn ihr was verloren habt? Wenn ich vor kurzem, also ich habe diese Woche, ich weiß nicht, wer kennt's, ich hab mein Lieblings-T-Shirt verloren. Ja, also ich weiß First World Problem, aber es war halt irgendwie, also es war irgendwie so tolles Baumwolle-T-Shirt, schön gefallen, es war so richtig gut eingetragen, 11 Jahre alt, super, also gerade so richtig befusselt und so, ich hab's geliebt. Und also es war mein blau-weiß gestreiftes T-Shirt. Also für diejenigen unter euch, die schwul sind, die wissen, für einen Schwulmann ist das blau-weiß gestreifte T-Shirt ungefähr so wichtig wie das blau-weiß gestreifte T-Shirt für einen Franzosen. Also man kann sich Leute einfach ohne sehr schlecht vorstellen. Und ich weiß nicht, wie ihr drauf seid, wenn ihr was verloren habt. Also ich bin schrecklich ungenießbar, wenn ich was verloren habe. Also ich habe irgendwie zum Beispiel, bin halt heimgekommen und habe das T-Shirt gebraucht und habe da irgendwie alles aus dem Kasten rausgeschmissen. Und dann habe ich natürlich alle Leute angerufen, die in den letzten 5 Monaten an meiner Wohnung nur vorbeigegangen sind oder so. Also ich irgendwie gerade so, ich glaube so aktiv habe ich meine Mama seit circa 4 Monaten nicht mehr angerufen, aber an diesem random Mittwoch um 15:31 Uhr, hallo Mama, hast du mein T-Shirt gesehen? Ja, es ist so. Und dann, also gefunden habe ich es natürlich nicht, sonst hätte ich es heute angezogen, weil es mein Glückst-T-Shirt. Und ich finde es aber irgendwie trotzdem ganz wertvoll, weil ich dieses T-Shirt vermutlich nirgendwo verloren habe. Das heißt, das T-Shirt ist vermutlich immer noch irgendwo in meiner Wohnung. Und es ist vermutlich so, wie mit allen Dingen im Leben, alles, was du suchst, ist in dir selber drin. Ja. Das ist eine Metapher. Okay, die nächste Performerin will be performing in English. It's the first time on the PCCC stage. She went to the open mic we hosted about 6 weeks ago, and she killed it. She came all the way from Brno, where she does comedy and theater and a couple of other things. Please give a warm welcome to Ann Johnson!
Hi. I'm going to do this because my hands shake. So my name is Ann, and I'm originally from the United States. I'm sorry. I left when George Bush Sr. was president because I didn't like the direction we were going in. So you can imagine how I'm feeling right now. Fuck Trump. So I've lived in the Czech Republic, in Brno, for 25 years now. Brno, you call it Brun. You should come and visit. We're lovely. We've got a thriving queer scene. The 5 of us are super nice. And I try to live my life like it's improv theater. Now, in improv theater, you can't say no because it shuts down the performance. You have to say yes or yes and. And so unless I can think of a really good reason to say no, I say yes. My friend says, unless it makes me cry or bleed, I'll do it. But for me, even then. As a result, I've had some pretty great experiences. I went to Seychelles with a photographer I met who was backpacking across Europe because he asked, want to go to Seychelles? And I said, yes. And the hotel was free. I put some pretty weird things in my mouth. I mean, haven't we all? But I ate whale. It was in Japan. It was the 80s. Somebody offered it, and I said, yes. It tastes like a slab of lard, and an old fish had a baby. I did heroin twice, just to be sure I really didn't like it. When Denise and Joseph asked me to come tonight, I said yes. And I was a bit stumped by the theme of insecurity. It's not that I've never been insecure. I have been terrified of almost everything I've ever done in my life. I just don't let it stop me. I am... Yeah, thank you. You're supposed to clap so I can give it. Here's what I know. The outcome of trying is never as bad as the regret of not trying. So I live 80% of the time, I have the confidence, the outward confidence. Either you will succeed, in which case there was no reason to be frightened, or you will fail, and if you fail really well, you'll die, and then you don't have to hang out and be embarrassed. And for everything in between those two poles, if you can manage to get up afterwards, stand on your feet, put your hands in the air, and say, ta-da, at least everybody else will think it was a success. I moved to Brno in 1994 because somebody offered me a job, and I said yes. And I love my town. I fell in love back then when it was kind of gray and kind of crumbly and kind of dirty, and everybody was in pretty much a bad mood all the time. I'm from California, and for a Californian, I am a black cloud of pessimism. But compared to Czechs in the 90s, I'm a ray of sunshine. It's like I finally got to understand what it feels like to be an optimist, and that's part of what made me brave. And also, I'm a medium-sized fish in a very small pond. You cannot get imposter syndrome when everybody already knows who you are. And yet even I was insecure once, and that's what I want to tell you about. It was 1996. And I had been living in Brno for 2 years, and I hadn't quite picked up the language yet. And I found out that I was pregnant. And I don't know, I decided to stay. I had 2 books. I had Check Step by Step and What to Expect When You're Expecting. And I figured I got 9 months, I'm gonna get this. I'm studying all the time. Now, this was after they had invented telephones, but before they invented the telephones that you can carry in your pocket. So I had a little pocket dictionary. I still have it. And I carried it with me everywhere, my little pocket dictionary. I even carried it with me to the gynecologist. My gynecologist is fantastic. Nobody in his office speaks a word of English because, why should they? So I'm going to the gynecologist with my little pocket dictionary, and we're making do. I would rather have a doctor that spoke only Czech and was skilled with a speculum than someone who spoke a bunch of languages and had clumsy hands. But this one time that I wanted to tell you about, I'm like 6 months pregnant, I'm visiting the doctor, I'm talking to the nurse, she's doing all the intake questions, they check your blood pressure, which makes sense, they check your weight, which also makes sense, they check your height, I don't know. And things could change. And she's asking me these questions, she's like, "Cítite bolesti?" Which is, do you feel pain? "Cítite nevolnost?" Do you feel nausea? And she gets a new question, which is, I think, "Cítite pochyby?" And I have just learned the word pochyby, it means doubts. So she's asking me if I'm feeling any doubts. Well, I'm foreign. The learning Czech in 9 months is not going really well. I have literally no family anywhere on the continent yet. I've just been through a breakup with someone who was spectacularly less excited about the pregnancy than I was. So, pochyby, doubts. I did what I do, right? I started crying. And then I wanted to explain to her that I couldn't have this conversation. I mean, I thought Czechs were subtle. I thought she was asking me if I wanted an abortion. And I want to tell her, I'm 6 months pregnant and I can feel the baby move. I don't know that word, so I get out my dictionary. And the Czech word for movement is pohyby, which sounds like pochyby, but is different. So she was asking me, can you feel the baby move, which is a normal question, and I lost my shit. True story. I still go to the same gynecologist. I still go to the same gynecologist. We communicate better now. I mean, this is the longest relationship I have ever had with anyone who has seen me naked and continues to want to see me naked. Like, every time I'm in there, he's like, take off your clothes. I can't quit him. I think getting naked is an issue of insecurity for a lot of people, right? It's like a job interview. I mean, I don't get naked in job interviews, but it's like a job interview because this is part of your relationship where you know that they like how you look on paper or on Tinder or whatever, but are they gonna like how you are in the flesh? No matter how confident you are, the question is, are they gonna like what you bring into the room? And I've been nervous about that, but I wanted to talk to you about how I learned to overcome the naked insecurity of being naked. I am a person who has been told she is so brave in exactly the situations that you don't want to be told that you're brave. Like when you're on the beach in a bathing suit and someone comes up and is like, you are so brave. I'm like a hard-boiled or a soft-boiled egg. I'm like a soft-boiled egg about my looks. Like on the outside, I got this hard outer shell, like, fuck you, I'm brave. And then inside of that, there's this sort of tender, sensitive, delicious, a little salty, this is my bikini body. And then inside of that is a runny yellow mess of, do you like me? Please, please like me. There are 3 steps. Step 1. You care what other people think of you. Go to the beach anyway. Wear a cover-up, it's fine. Just go. Step 2. Stop caring what people think about you. Take off the cover-up. Have the bathing suit. Walk towards the water. Stop sucking in your stomach. Step 3. Realize that no one was thinking about you in the first place. And this will help you when, as you walk into the water and the first icy cold wave rips your bathing suit off of you. If you can manage to stand on your feet, throw your arms in the air, you will be a success. Ta-da!